Program and the UN Global Compact Network Sri Lanka. We are delighted to welcome you. This is one of a series of webinars executed by the UN in Sri Lanka in collaboration with UNDP, UN Global Compact Sri Lanka, and our partners from the private sector to support Sri Lankan SMEs in an environment of acute challenges during the global COVID pandemic. Today's webinar is tailored for Sri Lankan SMEs. It's titled Financing and Banking for SMEs, delivered by our knowledge partner, Commercial Bank of Ceylon. Financial literacy plays a vital role in promoting sustainability in SMEs. And how can banks support SMEs to develop long-term financial resilience to face external shocks? This week's webinar is brought to us by Commercial Bank of Ceylon, which is one of Sri Lanka's leading private banks with a history of banking with SMEs and a dedicated function also supporting SMEs. So today we have, I'm pleased to introduce to you our colleagues from Commercial Bank, Malika De Silva, who is the Manager Development Credit of Commercial Bank, Dilshan Fernando, Manager SMEs at Commercial Bank, and Vinod Pillai, SME Officer at the Development Credit Department of the Commercial Bank. So I will hand it over to Vinod to take you to start off the presentation, and we will have Q&A afterwards as usual. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the Q&A box. The Q&A section will be moderated by Rashid Riza from the UN Development Program. So Vinod, over to you. You can unmute yourself, Vinod.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. So today the topic is how to support SME to protect the livelihood. So we have a presentation, so I'll go through the presentation. Okay, I hope everyone can see the presentation.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay, can I? Okay, so the topic is supporting SMEs to protect livelihood. So before we talk about anything else, like I just want you all to share something about what is SME and what is the importance of SME. So it is widely accepted that the role played by SME towards economic of any country is a paramount important. SME plays an important role being grounded and nurseries for small enterprises to become corporate by gradually creation entrepreneurial skills. So
Vinod seems to be having some connection issues. Let's see if we can connect him back. Please bear with us. Yeah, Vinod, you can continue.
Okay, sorry for the technical error. Okay, so I was talking about the importance of SME. So the SME are the backbone of the country. Why we say that is SMEs are the highest contribution to the GDP, and also SMEs contribute a highest amount of for the exports as well, because if you have a strong SME sector in Sri Lanka in the country, so that's mean you can produce more goods and services inside the country. So if you have excess production or the services then of course you can export that production to another country and earn good in foreign income. Also, it increases the local raw material usage as well, because sometimes we to continue the production, sometimes we import all the raw materials from outside of the country. So if you have that technology, or if you have that resources inside the country, then of course you can use your raw materials, or you can produce whatever the raw materials that needed to continue the production inside the country. That it'll help you to maintain your cost. So also, SMEs are generally labor intensive. Therefore, this sector helps economies address major issues of unemployment. So if you have a good job opportunities because of the development of SMEs inside the country, then of course there will be because of that, the people will have good money because they're getting salaries, because they're having good job opportunities. So then it will help to elevate the poverty inside the country. Also, when you have a good, strong SME sector inside the country, of course, then the regional development will happen, because when you have business around the country, then you have to transport all these goods and goods. So then you need good electricity, you need good water supply. Because of the development of these businesses, SMEs, small and medium enterprises, then of course automatically your regions will be developed with infrastructures. Now we will move on to how to define an SME in Sri Lanka. Actually, up to 2015, Sri Lankan economy didn't have a proper definition for SME. So we use different yardsticks given by different other countries or the donor agencies when we get refinance schemes or interest subsidy scheme from other like donor agencies. So they have different yardsticks to define SME. So we use all the yardsticks they have. So after 2015, Central Bank has realized that we need a good yardstick to define what is SME. So here it says the common yardsticks define SMEs are exposure, credit exposure, and number of employees, annual turnover, and other investments. But according to the CBSL, like a central bank definition, so we use 3 yardsticks. Those are, it has to be a registered business entity. So if your business is not registered, if it is running under your personal name, if you haven't registered your business up to now, then you are not considered as a SME in Sri Lanka. So your business has to be a registered entity. And also the total credit exposure should be below rupees 250 million in a particular bank. So you might have different facilities in different banks, but in a particular bank, if it is below 250 million, then we consider you as a SME.
We seem to be having an issue with Vinod's connection. Let's just see if we can connect him again very soon. Apologies. Vinod, you're back?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Where did I stop? Okay. So, yeah, I was talking about the contribution
slide, I
to
think,
Sri Lanka from SMEs. So, yeah, 45% employment. We have a 45% employment contribution because of this SME, as well as 75% enterprise.
You need to share the screen.
SMEs
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Also, women
I think you need to share the screen.
22% to 39%. Also, Sri Lankan economy, the GDP contribution is 53%.
I'm sorry, everyone. We seem to be having a connection issue from our link to commercial bank. We'll try to get Vinod securely soon as possible. Apologies. Please bear with us. We, as you know, we've been having this webinar series for the last few weeks. Yeah. So Vinod, you're back. You just need to share your screen.
Connection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just a reminder, if you have any questions, please put it on the Q&A box. And as I was saying, we've been having this series for a few weeks. If you want to have a look at, view the earlier series, you can always go to UN Sri Lanka Facebook page or the UN Sri Lanka YouTube page. Vinod, over to you.
Can I see the presentation right now?
It is blank at the moment. All it says you have started to share the screen. You want to give it another try? So until Vinod gets the screen sharing working, just to remind again, last week we had a webinar series with the ITC, International Trade Center, which spoke about market analysis for exporters who are in trading in services, which had a lot of traction among especially our IT exports community. And before that, we've also had an ITC seminar touching on exports of goods and how to conduct market analysis for trade in goods. So that is also in our playlist of webinars included in our YouTube page. That is UN Sri Lanka's YouTube page. Please do have a look. We've had previous episodes with Stacks, who's spoken to us about how SMEs can enter the global market, strategies to undertake, as well as how to use digital integration to enhance your business model as an SME. And we've had Mr. Sujit Christie, one of Sri Lanka's foremost experts in cyber security, speaking about how can SMEs build in secure networks to protect against cyber attacks. So those are some of the webinars we've done to support SMEs. We've also had one with one on women entrepreneurs with ITC. So that was also a very interesting episode that you would find that also online. Vinod, you seem to be online. Can you hear us? Right. So let's give it a couple of minutes for Vinod to connect. I think we can share screen. You have the presentation. Yeah. We'll just see if we can get him on an alternate connection. Just give us a minute. Our apologies once again.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm connected.
Okay. Thank you.
But Vinod, you can start.
Okay, wait, I'll share the screen. Okay, so we were talking about the importance of SME to the country, and now we are moving ahead to talk about why financial literacy for SMEs. Actually, financial literacy means a blend of knowledge, skill, attitude, and behavior required to make sound financial decisions. So the relationship between business failure and inadequate financial management practices is highly positive. So in Sri Lanka, 20% of small business fail in their first year, and as well as 30% of small businesses fail in their second year. 50% of small businesses fail after 5 years in business. 70% of small business owners fail in their 10th year in business. Why it happens? Because of the lack of experience sometimes and insufficient capital, because they don't have sufficient capital because to continue the business. Sometimes they have whatever the capital they had, they have invested to start the business. After that, to the run business, to continue the business, they don't have sufficient capital. Because of that, business fail. And also because of poor inventory management, over investment in fixed assets sometimes, poor credit management, and drawings. Drawings are special because they don't demarcate their personal expenses and their business expenses. So because of that, they draw money from business. So it will lead them to fail the business. And also employee turnover is very high because sometimes small businesses, they can't attract top talents because they don't have, they can't spend for that top talent. So because of that, they can't attract. So sometimes the employee turnover is very high. And also they are trying to, once they little bit established, they're trying to expand their business in unwanted ways. Sometimes because of that, without analyzing market, without analyzing opportunities in the business, they're trying to expand their business with huge investment. Because of that also, business will fail. So here, now we have a very big problem in SMEs because we have like continuation, sustainability of these SMEs are very low because of in Sri Lanka and other countries as well, because of these reasons. So the poor record keeping and financial management. And so this is one of main reasons to fail SMEs in Sri Lanka, because we see a lot of SMEs, small business enterprises, they don't keep a good bookkeeping, like they don't record a good proper, they don't have proper bookkeeping records, financial records. They don't know how to manage their financial. So whenever they don't have this type of financial literacy, then it will be a reason to fail a business in SMEs. Also, insufficient use of latest technology in SMEs and difficult to adaptation to consult evolving technology. Of course, we know the technology is changing, and we have to move according to the world. So when the technologies change, they don't have that capacity to change according to the new technologies. So because of that, also they find difficulties to continue the businesses. Also, scarcity of skilled labors. Sometimes when you want, even if you want to change to a new technology, even if you have money or the capital to change technology, but still you can't find skilled labors, technical know-how in Sri Lanka sometimes because of this. So that we don't have that type of knowledge here. So because of that also, SME fails. Also, poor management skills. And a lot of time, the owners of enterprises, they don't give their 100% to the businesses. So because of that also, business will fail. Or the less commitment of business owners. Also, geographical isolation and lack of better infrastructures. You know, in all over the country, we don't have, every places we don't have same type of infrastructure facilities. So even if you want to start a business, sometimes because of this infrastructure difficulties, sometimes this business fails, because it will be an additional cost for you all. If you want to, like, if you don't have proper transportation system, then you have to transport your good from one place to far away, for another place. It will be additional burden for yours. Because of that, that's an example. So no water sometimes, no proper electricity. So because these reasons will be these problems will be the reasons for fail SMEs. Also, the business sustainability is a problem in Sri Lanka. They start businesses, but as I explained previous slides, so the fail percentage is very high. So we'll talk about this poor record keeping and financial management. This is very important thing for SMEs. So first, you should know how to you should recognize the poor record keeping and financial management. If you don't have up-to-date accounting records, or if you don't have good budget, a proper budget or cash flow plans in your business. Now, if you continuously issuing post-dated checks, or if you draw money out of your business, or if you don't have proper demarcation between owners and business, then that means you have a poor financial management. So advices for good financial management, how you overcome these problems. Always work under a business plan with a proper budget. Most of these SME, small enterprises, they don't have a proper budget. They don't have a business plan. So they can start business, but as example, these days we know we are going through a pandemic, Corona. So with this Corona, our market has changed. The opportunities changed. Earlier, earlier what we had is not there now. So the market has been changed because of this pandemic. So if you can't adjust according to the changes, then of course you will fail. So it is compulsory, it is necessary to have a good business plan with a proper budget. Then of course you will achieve your goals. Also follow proper accounting methods and up-to-date financial records. So having proper accounting, then you can see the trend, or you can see your profits, you can see your liquidity position of a business at any time if you have a proper account details or if you have proper financial records. So the financial records is a must for SME to continue the business in an accurate or a profitable way. Or else, also demarcate personal life and business life. So the business owners or the director or the proprietorship or the partners, they have to give their maximum time to the business. So if you don't demarcate your personal life and your business life, then of course you will definitely fail. So you should give your 100% to your business if you want to see your business a success. Also avoid drawings. So you have to have proper way of getting money out of your business. If you want to have, like, if you are the proprietor, then if you want to have money from your one, then you have to separate a salary or whatever thing for you, because you can't draw money whenever you want from the draw of your business, because it will lead to unwanted losses and unwanted things. So whenever you invest, whenever you draw something, you should invest this money for a business purpose, then where you can get a return out of it. And you can't draw money and spend this money for your personal things. So it will definitely be a loss for your business. Avoiding borrowings from aggressive money lenders. Of course, we know that people borrow money from like money lenders and aggressive money lenders. So then please avoid these borrowings. Always try to borrow from a financial institution or a bank. So there is a question. People always say that whenever they want a financial support from a bank will ask a project report. So what is this? What is the importance of this project report? So the project report is always not a compulsory thing for lending. But however, if it is a specific industry or a very complex project, bank may need a comprehensive business plan or a project report from a professional. Because why is that? We'll discuss. In appraising a proposal for industrial lending, the debt study has to be done, especially for if it is a complex project or a specific industry. Each and every aspect of this industry should be carefully analyzed at the initial stage to avoid any kind of project failure at a future date. So why we need a project report? We should know all these technical, market, management, economic and financial details of this specific product, specific project, because to lend for this project, bank need to know all these, bank need to analyze all these risk factors. To identify these risk factors, we should have a proper project report for a complex or a specific industry, because we as a bank, sometimes we don't have that knowledge for about each and every industries. So if it is a very specific industry or very complex project, we totally depend on the professional project report, and then we analyze the project, and we do the depth analyze, and we analyze the feasibility, we analyze the viability and the integrity of a project, And overall, what we analyze is the repayment capacity of a borrower. That's why we need a project report. So in a project report under financial, we discuss about the cost of project. Why we need a cost of project is, even not for bank, even for you, if it is a startup project, or if it is a different diversification of business, of course, you should have a proper cost of project before you invest. Suppose it is a construction of a commercial building, so you should have a proper BOQ. If you do not have a proper BOQ, you don't know how much will you want to spend for this project. So without knowing a cost, you can't decide how much money you want from bank and how much money you have to invest for the project. So the cost of project is very important. It's like a horoscope of a project. So if you have a proper cost, then cost analysis, then of course you know where will we going to end up with. And also the profitability we have to calculate. So under profitability, we calculate the income and expenses, and whether it has a profit or losses. Also, we analyze a cash flow statement. So from a cash flow statement, what we analyze is all the cash inflows and cash outflows. And out of it, we'll calculate whether they have a cash surpluses or deficit. So why we need to calculate or analyze profitability and cash flow is, there's a difference between a cash flow and a profitability calculation. So cash flow basically calculates the difference between the amount of cash a company receives and pays. That's mean cash inflows and outflows. So basically, end of the day, it will calculate the liquidity position of a business. Simply, if I say simply, so how much money left in your drawer or account. So liquidity position. So in a profitability, you calculate its accounting concept, and it's not measured in terms of cash received or paid. It is all about difference between the expenses and revenues. So if you calculate profitability, sometimes you'll end up with profit. But if you have a expanded cash flow, very brief, comprehensive cash flow throughout the year, each month, sometimes your income or the inflow will be different. So some months you may not have that capacity to pay your outflows, like expenses. So or the financial expenses. But some months you have additional profit or additional income to pay this. But if you calculate profitability, you will get the total income and expenses for the whole year. But if you really want to see calculate the liquidity portion of a business, then of course you have to prepare a cash flow where you get monthly wise fluctuation of your income and expenses. So as a businessman, as a SME, it is very important to maintain a cash flow statement as well as a profitability. When you want a loan or a financial support from a bank, so of course we will definitely analyze the proper cash flow to identify your income pattern. Sometimes, say as example, for agriculture businesses, they might have biannual income. So every month they can't pay. So if we based on profitability, of course, we will see, okay, they have a profit. So if we divide it into 12, then we assume, okay, the annual profit is this. If we divide it into 12, okay, each month this person will get this much of income. But actually, he won't get that every month income. He will get biannual income. So we can identify these type of things through a cash flow, not through a profitability. Sometimes in tourism industry, they have seasons and they have off seasons. So during seasons, they have good money, but off season, they might not get that much of income. So those period of time, they won't be able to pay their bills. So and during their season period, because of they have excess money, they can pay. So as a bank, what we do is we structure their payments according to the repayment, according to the income pattern of the customer. So to identify that, cash flow is a must. Also, the training and development also important for SMEs. So as banks, we always do training and development for SMEs. we support in a financial way as well as we support non-financial way. So non-financial way, what we do is we conduct skill development programs, we conduct financial literacy programs, we conduct uh, capacity building programs for customers, for SMEs, and through this training and development, they could increase their financial literacy. Also, they can develop their entrepreneurial skills, as well as it is an opportunity to learn about new technologies in the global platform. Because when we share your knowledge with another person who's engaged in the same business, sometimes he may use a different technology. Sometimes you are stuck with the conventional method. So if you can share your knowledge with each other, then of course you can improve your knowledge. And so from the experts also, you can learn a lot of things, new business opportunities, new technologies, what other business diversification, and a lot of things. So training and development is must, because to enhance your knowledge, to improve your knowledge, and to learn new things. And it is an opportunity to share knowledge among other expertise in the market as well. So as banks, what we do is we conduct training programs and development programs with the help of expertise in the market to share their knowledge with SMEs. And also it is increase the creativity of SMEs. Most of the time we have a problem in Sri Lanka. People tend to copy people. Like if your neighbor is doing a business, then you also try to do the same thing, but you don't think out of box. You don't create things. You don't have innovation ideas. So always as a SME, if you want to grab a new market opportunities, there are a lot of market opportunities out there. If you just see the e-commerce platform right now, through Instagram, through FB, through a lot of online platform, there are a lot of business opportunities, a small business opportunities where you can tap a new market. Maybe it may be not a mass market, but it's a niche market, but still through that niche market, you can earn well. So there are a lot of business opportunities where you need to create something. You need to value add something, and if you project that, if you sell that to the market, definitely market will accept that. So training and development do a huge role to develop SMEs. And I said that the business sustainability is very important. So sustainability has become a more important for all business across the industries. Sustainability is business approach to creating long-term value by taking into consideration how a given organization operates in an ecological, social, and economic environment. So in addition to environmental and social benefit, companies that incorporate sustainability into decision-making process can reap significant financial advantages and attract more interest from investors, which is key long-term profitability. So if we talk about business sustainability, of course, we are talking about green financing. When you say it's green financing, people have a misconception. It should be not necessarily solar or renewable energy. The financing not necessarily under concessionary funding lines. So whatever the investment which reduce any financial extended for renewable efficiency or energy efficiency, emission reduction, resource efficiency, water and waste management, or other waste management, we will consider these investment as green financing. So why we need green financing? We need to reduce pollution at this time, and we need to save our resources without wasting, because if we save today, then of course we can continue our business into future. Otherwise we'll end up with droughts, we'll end up with floods. If you pollute your air, then we'll end up with a lot of difficulties to continue these businesses. So then you have to take precaution right now. So that's why the whole world, Sri Lanka, is focusing towards green financing. So what are the green activities? So if you change your electricity into solar, then of course that is also a green activity. Or reducing waste. If you reduce waste, if you manage your waste, and if you use that waste to produce another product, then of course that is also a green activity. Or you can reuse your waste to for something else, something productive. So that is also we consider as a green activities, or else you can improve your efficiency. So you're using a technology right now, or then you're investing to a different technology where you can improve your efficiency level. Then of course we'll consider that as a green activities. So we have discussed a lot about SME. We discussed what are the barriers we have. We discussed what you have to do as SMEs. And here now I'm going to discuss with you all about a good characteristic of a successful entrepreneur. So you should have a passion. You should follow your dreams. To follow your passion is the best predictor of success. So without a passion, you can't achieve your goals. Also, you have to be independent thinking, and you have to think out of the box, as I explained earlier. So you have to be a creative. You have to think innovatively. So you have to think out of box, and you can't copy your neighbor, or else you can't copy your colleague. But if you think out of the box, if you come up with new ideas, then of course you'll have a good market out there. Always you have to be optimistic. Entrepreneurs are dreamers and believe that their idea possible even they seem unattained. So have to be optimistic. So then if you have that positive energy in you, of course, then you can achieve your goals. Always self-confidence is very important, believing that they can achieve their goals. So if you have a achievable goal, of course, you have to believe that you can achieve. There will be a lot of difficulties, obstacles, but if you still have a proper plan, proper budget, proper knowledge, of course, then of course you can achieve your goal. So resourceful and problem solving. Always find ways to achieve goal despite hardship. As I explained, there will be hardship. So this period, because of this COVID, this is very difficult for you all. So your customers have been changed, the market has been changed. So you have to adjust according to the changes in the world, because we can't avoid these changes. We have to adjust ourselves for our business, our pattern of business, the way we market, the way we deliver our products to the customer. You have to change according to the market changes. So vision, you should have a vision, and you have to be focused, and you have to be action oriented. Even though you have nice plans, you have a good budget, if you are not action oriented, if you are not make it happen, then of course it will be failure. So all these qualities will make a successful entrepreneur. So how bank can help you all? So these are the services that bank help to develop SMEs. As I explained earlier, also we have financial services and as well as non-financial services. So we have lot of facilities under bank. So we have overdraft, we have bank funded loans, we have refinance loans, we have interest subsidy loans, agri loans, leases, microfinance loans to support your financial requirements. Financial requirement is not only adequate to to have a successful business. You need to have, as I explained, there are a lot of other factors will help you all to make your business a success. So those are the non-financial services that a bank can help you all to develop your knowledge. So as I explained, we conduct financial literacy program, entrepreneurship skill development programs, financial advisory services, because we have a lot of good contacts with expertise like external parties where you do not get direct contact with them. So as a bank, we share their knowledge with you all. We connect them to you all whenever you need a help. And also we do capacity building programs. So this is how bank help SME to develop their businesses, because we also know the developing SMEs means developing a country. So developing SME is very important. So these are the available loan schemes at banks. So Saubhagya COVID-19 support loan scheme. This is the talk of the town right now after COVID. A lot of businesses affected because of the COVID. So close to 1 month, they have been shut down, these businesses. Because of that, they didn't have businesses. So because of that, they need a working capital to continue or to revive their businesses. Because of that, government, Central Bank of Sri Lanka has introduced a loan scheme called Saubhagya COVID-19 support loan scheme at a rate of 4% to help businesses who have been affected from COVID to fund for their working capital requirements. So it is available with banks. So if you have difficulties in financing your working capital, of course, you can go to a bank and get this loan. And also we have, this is a temporary loan. The repayment period is 24 months. So within 24 months, you have to settle because it's a working capital loan. And other than that, we have Smile 3, it's a refinance scheme. The interest rate is 8%. These loan schemes for fixed investment on manufacturing-oriented industries. So if your business is manufacturing-oriented industry, then of course, if you want to make a fixed investment, of course, you have a loan scheme for Smile 3 at a low rate of 8%. Or as we have a loan scheme of eFriends, their interest rate is 6.5 per annum. It is totally for energy saving and investment in pollution control. So if as I mentioned, sustainability, I have mentioned the importance of sustainability. So if you really want to sustain your business, then you have to move according to the move towards the sustainability. So then you can use this eFriend loan scheme to finance your investment towards green financing. So, and we have Saubhagya loan scheme. That is Saubhagya COVID-19 is a working capital loans, but Saubhagya loan scheme is a long investment purpose loan scheme. So the rate is 6%, and it is for the long-term investment, especially for purchase of machinery and fixed asset. So if you have a requirement to purchase machinery or fixed asset to your businesses, then of course you can apply for Saubhagya loan scheme at a rate of 6%. Also, we have ADB SME law. The interest rate is not yet finalized, but it will be, the scheme will be launched in this September. So this is also for investment and working capital purposes. So under this ADB SME law, there's a grant portion for women-led entrepreneurs. So if you have a women-led business, then of course you can get 20 to 30% grant through this loan scheme. And also they have another special loan scheme for rooftop solar power generation scheme. This is for solar project. If you want to install solar panels to your household as well as to your business, then of course you can use this loan scheme at a rate of 8%. So thank you very much. I think you have got to know a lot about SMEs. So there will be a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, so we'll be there to answer you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vinod, for your presentation. You gave a very good build up to SMEs, and you also spoke of the importance of SMEs and also some confidence building, which I'm sure which is particularly pertinent in these very difficult times of the economy. As Vinod segued, we will have a question and answer session. We will be joined by Dilshan Fernando, who is the manager, SME Development Credit Department, and Malika De Silva, who is is also a manager at the Development Credit Department. Dilshan and Malika will be responding to some questions, and I would like to start off with some questions of my own, if that's all right. Vinod very rightly spoke of the importance of confidence and the importance of having positivity in approaching the SME market. However, it also brings me to the question of structural barriers when it comes to running SMEs. How do we navigate across some of these structural barriers? he also identified very rightly that financial literacy is extremely important. He discussed some of the interventions that the banking sector is making, and I think it is important that consumers or entrepreneurs, SMEs actually study what is out there for provided by the banking sector in order to make a sound decision. In a COVID or post-COVID context, the role of women has also been especially highlighted. And I think the role of women in the economy is also something that we need to really factor in when it comes to policy making. We can see that without sufficient support when it comes to schooling and childcare, women in SMEs, especially in family-run SMEs, have had to balance work lives with homeschooling and childcare and so on. How much has the banking system considered these changes? And have there been specific policy prescriptions that the banking sector is looking at as a whole to support women entrepreneurs or to develop their business, especially in this new normal context? What are we looking at? Dilshan or Malika, perhaps you can take a stab at this. Dilshan, you're online. You could connect. Perhaps Malika can come in at this point. We seem to have lost Dilshan, but I can see Malika is online. Malika, would you like to take this question? What specific support or how is the banking sector looking at novel or innovative policy prescriptions in a post-COVID context when it comes to women entrepreneurs? May I remind participants once more that should you have any further questions, by all means, please use the Q&A box, which you can see at the bottom of your screen. We are collating questions that are coming through, and we will most certainly pose this to our panelists. Vinod, would you like to take this question?
Yeah, well, what was the question?
Yeah, I can repeat the question. I initially gave a build up to how women have been disproportionately impacted in a COVID, post-COVID context, because they have had to manage a life in entrepreneurship, working, childcare, homeschooling, and so on. So you suddenly see that the system sometimes imposes barriers for female entrepreneurship. What policy prescriptions is the banking sector looking at in terms of responding to these new normals? I think we have Dilshan here. Perhaps Vinod, since you started, perhaps you can have a go, and perhaps Dilshan can supplement your response.
Yeah, I think Dilshan will answer for that question. Thank you.
Thank you. Dilshan, would you like to come in?
Okay, I think there's a technical error with Dilshan's hello. Connection error. So for the women entrepreneurs, we have actually we don't have a specific loan scheme like a loan scheme for them, but of course those who have affected from COVID-19, as you mentioned. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please proceed, Vinod.
Yeah, so the central bank has introduced a loan scheme for, as I explained in my previous presentation. So there is a loan scheme for Saubhagya COVID-19, 4% interest scheme. So businesses who have been affected because of this COVID-19, they can obtain loan from under Saubhagya COVID-19 loan scheme. So this is for specifically, this is for working capital financing. So 2 months of working capital will be financed by banks at a low rate of 4%, and repayment period will be 24 months.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Vinod, for that response. I'm not sure if we, I think we see Malika here. Malika, can you hear us clearly? Vinod, if I may please
Rashid, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Malika. Can I ask, there's a question that has come here on the
Rashid,
chat box.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Malika. There is another question that has come here on our chat box, and I think Vinod also spoke of sustainability. And one of the questions that we have here is that how much of a trend is sustainability as a differentiator for SMEs in Sri Lanka? I think Vinod touched upon environmental sustainability, but could you also look at this from a social governance and economic lens in terms of sustainability being a trend for SMEs to differentiate?
Hello, Rashid. Rashid, can you hear me?
If you could please get the mic a little closer, Malik. I can hear you, but the sound is a little faint.
Now is it clear?
Perfect. Please proceed.
Is it clear, Rashid?
Yes, very clear.
The line is not clear. I can't hear your question.
Okay. The question that was asked was that how much of a trend is sustainability as a differentiator for SMEs in Sri Lanka? Environmental sustainability, social sustainability, perhaps governance, and even economic sustainability. I'm not certain if Malika can hear me. Dilshan, can you hear the questions that I'm posing? Dilshan, can you hear us? I can see your mic making some movement, but I don't think it's really manifesting in sound.
Rashid, can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed, Dilshan. That was very clear.
Okay. Okay, right. Now, actually, I would like to emphasize first of all, telling you that Kamalini is the person who are actually handling this our women banking sector. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it today. Therefore, I have to brief about the women banking and also how the bank is how the banking sector, inter-banking sector is going along with this women banking industry. Now, I would like to show you the picture of the present women banking industry in this country. Now, out of the current population, 52% will represent as women. Hence, in future, we would like to see more women participation or contribution towards the development of our economy. According to the Department of Census and Statistics, out of the total economically active population, female accounts for only 36%. Agriculture is the largest employer, women at 33.95%, and 42% work in the service sector. Also, it's very nice to see that 1 out of 4 women are engaged in industries. You will see how active they are engaging in industries. Also, they are actually engaged in either workforce or as entrepreneurs. Now, you can see about 600,000 women are employed as migrant workers. They could be considered as Lanka's highest foreign exchange earners. They also contribute to the domestic apparel industry. Now, these are the current, statistics with regard to the women sector. Now, when it comes to the banking, now we see female customers are having higher risk awareness as both business as personal customers. But in the rural area, of course, it is not the reality. Women-led businesses outperform those led by men, including startups. We have seen a lot of businesses coming out with that performance when it's actually engaged with female-led entrepreneurs. Default rates are either same or better than the male counterpart, depending upon the market. They are, refinance. That means their repayment repayments very high. When you consider with the other women, is very higher. That means NPA ratio is very low. Once main banker status achieved, bank can have higher cross-sell ratios. Now, she will definitely bring her family members, parents, her relatives, her friends to the bankers if she feels that particular bank requirement. And also respond well to the these relationship-based management models. There is a person, if lady, the women can go to that particular place and share their requirements. And if they can fulfill that from that particular person, the person dedicated to them, definitely they will like that. And also we can see they demonstrate stronger retention rates. These women-led businesses, when they
Dilshan, your line is breaking. It might facilitate for a little bit coherence technologically if you could perhaps switch your video off.
Shift to another bank frequently. At the same time, if the bank majority of their family wallet, okay.
Yeah, better, Dilshan. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, if a bank acquires a business relationship, it's the higher likelihood it will take majority of family wallet. What I am actually discussing here now, this particular women, if they have a good banking relationship, then normally this women controls the pocket. Now that means finance bring more money to the bank, and also higher percentage of the family financial decisions making the highest percentage of the family financial decisions. Therefore, we can see women are playing a major role in not only the business as well as in the family affairs. Therefore, banks.
Thank you, Dilshan. Thank you for your response. I think that's
potential when they
I think that was a fairly comprehensive response, and I think it was fairly focused on the women entrepreneurship side, which we are truly grateful, and I pay tribute to the forensic manner in which you responded to this question. Since in the interest of time as well, we would like to ask one more question before we close, and this is a fairly general question, and I would like to open the floor here to any one of our participants today from Commercial Bank, our panelists rather from Commercial Bank. If you would like to respond to this, SMEs complain that they are not given encouragement by banks if they do not have any fixed security. Would you have a response to this? I think it's a fairly general question, which many of our participants might relate to, and perhaps Malika can have a stab at this.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. It's one of the questions that has come here on the Q&A box is that SMEs complain that they are not given encouragement by banks if they do not have any fixed security.
No, it's not like that. Actually, the collateral comes as the last consideration when the banker is proposed with a project proposal, actually this collateral issue will come the last. First the banks would look at what is the viability, then the feasibility, then the risk factors of that particular project. Then, of course, the integrity of the project proposer. Integrity means how he has paid his last previous loans, then how he has performed his businesses, so on and so forth. So as bankers, our experience is that, as Vinod rightly pointed out, most of the SMEs, that means around 70% of the SMEs have a natural debt down the timeline of 10 years. So what is the reason for that? So through experience, we have found many reasons. When you take our country's SMEs, most of these SMEs are family grown businesses. So when they try to expand beyond some point, actually those SMEs need more professionalism to come in. So there should be more technological changes to come in. So those are the factors that has to be taken into consideration. And also then you have to have proper bookkeeping and recording. So if you focus on these aspects, I think SMEs would flourish. So as bankers, there are a lot of initiatives that banks have taken, like capacity building programs, then financial literacy programs. Those kind of programs are focused in improving the capacities of these SMEs. So we educate these SMEs to bring in more professionalism. Sometimes SMEs may reluctant to bring in more professionalism to the business, like they may fear that their business secrets might go out of their families, and those kind of these matters also there. So as bankers, we try to, through capacity building programs and hand-holding SMEs, to develop more towards corporate, to achieve corporate status. So we hold a lot of capacity building programs, consultancy. We coordinate with a lot of external agencies, government agencies, to bring in required professionalism to the SMEs. So as one last matter, I would also like to say, today, due to this COVID-19 pandemic, there is a lot of panic being created, especially for SMEs. But my advice is that there are a lot of business opportunities also that have come along with this pandemic. Like there are so many e-commerce platforms being developed. Then there is digital transformation into traditional banking to digital transformation. So those kind of opportunities has also arisen. So as saying goes, there is a silver lining in every dark cloud. There are many, many business opportunities that have opened up with this pandemic. So I will say, as bankers, don't panic. We'll be there to support SMEs. So collateral, as you mentioned, will come as the last consideration for the bank. We first look at the viability and the feasibility of that project. Of course, we look at this integrity of the project proposer as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Malika, for that response. I mean, in order to get the economy to become more and more active, consumer spending needs to be facilitated. This is especially important in underpinning SME sustainability, to ensure that they do not have to close down, or indeed such that they don't operate in a very febrile state. And therefore, SME sustainability is something, particularly in a post-COVID context, that I think bankers and the banking sector needs to factor in. It is extremely, extremely important, and you highlighted that very well. Thank you very much. That concludes our 5th webinar on supporting SMEs, protecting livelihoods, co-organized by the UN in Sri Lanka, the United Nations Development Programme, and the UN Global Compact Network in Sri Lanka, with Commercial Bank partnering for today's webinar as our knowledge partner. We focus today on financing and banking for SMEs. Before I take this opportunity to thank all our participants, I would like to apologize to our participants and for the technical errors that our colleagues at Commercial Bank faced. But it is what it is. The weather is not very good outside, but there's a long weekend coming, and that's probably time for all of us to recuperate. I take this opportunity once again to thank Dilshan Fernando, Malika De Silva, and Vinod Pillai for their time today. And to you, our participants who registered and took part, and for your very relevant and pertinent interventions. This is a series of many webinars on support to SMEs, and do look out for the other webinars. There are a few more interesting webinars that will be coming through, and details of which will be disseminated very shortly. Thank you very much. I know tomorrow is a working day, but we have a long weekend coming. And until next time, goodbye.